Now, the neighbor had told us, my husband and I, that there were slats missing at the side of her house. So my husband went and tried to fix it the best he could. Well, guess what? I've got it figured out. The government paid the UK to sneak up into our house, into the attic above us, to use the mirrors, ray gun, and the whole works, and the satellites on my husband, to radiate him the rest of the way. And that's what took him. They were radiating him in his own home, unbeknownst to him and me. We had no idea. The UK was radiating my husband from the attic in our home. And my husband had no idea. I didn't either. But the slats were missing from the side of the bedroom where my husband spent all his time. That's how I know. On top of that, he was black as crisp, and that's what they did to him. And that makes me mad. They got rid of the widows, killed the widows, so that the widows would not talk about the UK coming after their husbands and killing their husbands, and not the cancer center. That way, they could pin stories on the widows. They wanted to fabricate as many stories as they could and make them up, so that way they could hang the widows for their husband's death, when it wasn't even the widows that caused it. It was the UK who was paid to go up into the attics of the homes and kill the widow's husband with radiation, on top of the radiation he was getting at the cancer center. That's what happened, my friend. Our government's been infiltrated by the UN, United Nations. And because of that, they wanted our husbands gone, so they wouldn't have to pay them to live. So they took them out with radiation, on top of the radiation and chemo they were getting at the cancer center. Then that way nobody would suspect or knows anything. And no, I'm not making this up. This is the truth. I'm not making it up. I'm not crazy. I don't have dementia. And I'm not making this up. Simply because I know the truth. Remember when Jesus threw the money changers out of the church? They were supposed to be giving the money to the poor people, and they weren't. The money changers were giving it to the government. Our government's been corrupted by the wrong people from the United Nations. And they don't want people knowing that. They took out the widows so that they would not talk about the Ukraine killing their husbands. That's what they did. And they were getting ready to do that to me. They want to fabricate a story against me. And they want to blame me. When it was the Ukraine radiating my husband to death. And not the cancer center. Well, people, that's how I see it. And that's what happened. And I'll tell you what, it makes me mad. It's time to rise up. They had no right doing that to us at all. A lot of widows out there are innocent like myself, and they have been wrongly accused. And they need to stand up for their rights and speak up. It's time to speak up and speak out before it's too late. You're allowing your own president to run over you. And I'm sorry. I'm not a Trump fan, never was. But I would have voted for him if I could. I never got the chance to. And he's the reason. I'm serious. That's what I'm saying. I was for Trump. I was going to vote for him. But I never got the chance to. I never was given the chance to. They came after me as soon as they could to try to kill me. Right after my husband passed away. Because they wanted to put me in as much danger as they possibly could. So I wouldn't figure it out. Well, honey, I figured it out all right. That's why the neighbor told my husband that the slats were messed up on the side where his room was. We had no idea. My husband's room was right on that side where those slats were messed up. They had gone through the slats that were missing. The Ukraine did, and radiated my husband to death. Now, that makes me mad. But what can I do? I'm only one person. There's a whole world of people around me. And people, you need to start standing up for the widows. You need to start standing up for everybody. Because it's not right that you're allowing them to do this to you. The UK is getting away with murdering Americans. And they need to stop. That's all I can say. I don't know who's responsible for it, but it needs to stop. Take care, and God bless. Bye now.